great Odin's raven.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
This is ridiculous. Okay, I'll go.
Hello and welcome to the FilmPulse.net podcast, episode 19. My name is Adam. Today I'm joined by Kevin. How you doing there, Kevin?
Doing pretty good.
Today we're going to be discussing our thoughts on the highly anticipated Ridley Scott film Prometheus. We also have Ryan back with us to tell us about a movie we made him watch called Jack and Jill in honor of Adam Sandler in That's My Boy, coming out this Friday. And finally, we'll be making our predictions for this week's opening films. And before we start talking about what we've been watching this week, I just wanted to get your thoughts, Kevin, on the new Kevin Smith show that's on Hulu called Spoilers. I'm not sure if you...
I forgot to watch that. I wanted to watch one of them because I knew you wanted to talk about it.
What I want to really ask you more than what you thought of the show was just the concept of it. So basically, Kevin Smith is taking a group of 50 random people to a screening of a film, and then he has this sort of open forum thing where they can give their comments and they can discuss the film. And I think like one of the taglines or whatever is that we don't review films, we revere them. And Kevin Smith is he's always been kind of outspoken against critics. He doesn't like critics, and this is kind of his anti-review show. And I was just trying to see what your thoughts were on that. Do we care about what normal people think? Is it a good idea?
I mean, to a point. For me, when it comes to like normal people, like my friends and stuff, like you or other friends that watch movies, number one, I only listen to people that watch a good amount of movies. You know what I mean? If there's someone that only goes and sees like 4 movies a year, I'm not going to listen to them.
Yeah.
Whether they tell me they like a movie or not. And then also, I really only listen to people that watch sort of the same movies as me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because usually it's close enough. Like if I talk to you and you tell me you like a movie, there's a good chance that I'm going to like it.
Yeah.
About, 85% chance.
Yep.
That I'm going to have the same reaction. But just like random people off the streets, does he like screen these people first, or does he just...
No, it's just...
At random.
It's random people. It's like it's all sorts of people. It's all different types of people. And then he just kind of gets their thoughts on it. And I watched the first episode. I'm not sure if any other ones are out, but they screened Snow White and got some thoughts on it. And every now and then Kevin Smith will throw in a couple things here and there, but he's kind of seems to stay impartial about it. Like if somebody stands up and has like a criticism, he'll kind of just like be like, yeah, I could see that. And then like because it seems like most of the episodes are going to be all ends of the spectrum. Some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it, and that's at least how the first episode was. And I can kind of foresee that that's going to be the way it is for the entire show. Yeah, I didn't like it. I wasn't very entertained. He doesn't just do that. Like that's the main thing, but then he also has a star, like a celebrity that he does like an interview with. This first episode was Carrie Fisher, and he just does a little interview with them, and then he does this thing called the Criterion Lounge where he goes over a Criterion Collection movie and talks about it and gives his recommendation on that.
Oh, but he doesn't criticize it. He gives a recommendation.
Right.
It's the same damn thing.
Yeah, he just kind of picks one. I don't know if it's at random or just one that he personally likes a lot and just talks about it a little bit. The first one he did was actually the Jim Jarmusch movie Stranger Than Fiction.
Stranger Than Paradise?
Stranger Than Fiction. That's the Will Ferrell one.
Great movie.
I wanted to say Down by Law, and that's why I stumbled.
Did he recommend Stranger Than Paradise?
Yeah, that was his.
You're damn right he did.
That was like his first big recommendation. So I don't know. I mean, I probably won't stick with it, but.
So what was the first movie? You said it was Snow White.
Yeah.
Now, Was it Snow White and the Huntsman?
Yeah,
or?
Snow White and the Huntsman.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be all the summer movies, all the big summer movies. So Prometheus, I think, might be the next one.
Okay. Now, what I would like to see is, because essentially this is just like internet message boards, but
right
on film. Mm-hmm. So I hope they get like trolls and stuff.
Well, there were a couple people in the audience that he talked to that really hated it. That like, and it seemed like they were the ones that had the most constructive things to say about it. Like, their thoughts pretty much mirrored mine, and that's how I know that they're right. But I mean, it's cool. It's a cool idea. I think
it is. But I think it. The only problem with those types of shows where you have different people on every time, it could always be hit or miss. Mm-hmm. I mean, you might get some good people that really have good things to say and are entertaining and stuff, but then, they could screen one movie and no one has anything good to say.
And that's...
I mean, nothing entertaining or anything.
That's one of the reasons I didn't particularly like it, was that I'm watching it and I'm like, okay, well, I don't really care about what these people think. And I know that that's kind of the whole statement, is like, why do you care what critics think when you should be more interested in what the masses think? But I don't know. I mean, I don't particularly care what critics think about movies either, and I do fancy myself as a critic as well, so.
I do not. But there's some critics that I always read Ebert, and Ebert's usually close to what I think.
Yeah, I agree.
How I think of a movie. And I think he's the only one that really reviews movies correctly.
He's one of the few.
Yeah, like he gives, you can look and see that he gives a crappy, like, romantic comedy 3 stars, and you're like, what? That looks like utter trash. But he's doing it on the basis of, if you like romantic comedies, in the romantic comedy genre, this is like a 3 out of 5 or whatever. Mm-hmm. I think, or no, he does 4 stars, I think.
Yeah. And it also goes along with these score aggregates like Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic. I mean, more and more people are just looking at that score and not even reading why this movie got that score. And I think that's not good. I like the fact that there are those aggregate systems out there that do like an overall score, but I still think that people should, if they're interested to know what people think about a movie, they should be reading the actual reviews rather than just looking at a score.
Yeah.
So, moving on, what was the first movie you saw this week?
First movie I saw this week was called Distant.
Distant.
It's a Turkish movie from 2002 by, the director is Nuri. Here we go. Nuri Bilger Jalen.
There you go.
I think. It's close. I'm probably not doing that correctly, but it's close enough.
What'd you think?
It was really good. Really slow, of course. Beautiful cinematography. Just amazing. This is the guy that directed the movie that came out last year, Once Upon a Time in Anatolia.
I never saw that.
I haven't seen it yet either, but I just remember, when it was playing at festivals and stuff, it was making a lot of noise, and the trailer for it, I mean, that movie looks beautiful. So this was playing on Netflix Play instantly, so I was like, I'm going to check him out, see a couple of his other movies before I get a chance to see the new one. Not much happens at all. So it's definitely your typical slow burn foreign movie, but just really good cinematography. And Turkey looks amazing.
Might have to give this a watch.
But yeah, just know that you're in for pretty much nothing happening.
I can usually handle that.
Yeah, well, it's basically this guy lives in Istanbul. He's a professional photographer, and his nephew comes to stay with him because he's trying to get a job on a freighter ship or anything like that. So he's just staying with him, and of course, what usually happens with people coming to stay with you, they don't end up doing anything, and he doesn't leave, and they just sort of don't get along. But it's, open-ended ending to the movie. Just not much happens.
Cool. That doesn't sound like doesn't really sound like a glowing recommendation, actually.
No, I mean, I enjoyed it, the images and stuff, but I'm definitely gonna check out more. I mean, this is one of his first movies, so he definitely has talent. I just want to see if he adds anything to his stories later on.
Gotcha.
The other films that he does. So I will know in a little bit here after I watch a couple more.
Cool. What else you got?
I finally watched Pariah.
And I also watched this. After you told me that you watched it, I thought that I should do that as well, so I gave it a watch.
What did you think of Pariah?
I liked it.
Yes.
Here's the thing, I didn't love it. And it was really good, but it was just kind of, I just felt like I've seen the movie before. I just felt like I saw it before. It was very well acted. I really enjoyed the characters of the parents. I thought that they did a really, really good job. And it was just a really good looking movie. And it was, even though I do say that it was something that we've seen before as far as subject matter, to have it be an African American girl, that was something that I haven't seen before, and the kind of unique struggles that she has dealing with her sexuality. But it was very enjoyable. It wasn't. I didn't find it to be as heavy as some movies that have this similar subject matter.
Yeah,
it was heavy, but I didn't think it was. It was not. Boys Don't Cry.
No, that's what I liked about it. It didn't seem heavy-handed. It didn't seem like they were just trying to shove it down your face or shove it down your throat the entire time.
Right. There was no shocking moments or anything like that happened, and it was almost inspirational by the end. But
I think a really good performance by Kim Wayans. Which is, seeing the movie, how did she not get nominated for anything?
I don't know.
And I was surprised at first because I was like, she looks really familiar. Who the hell is that? And I'm like, Kim Wayans. Oh my god. She used to, for me, was the most annoying person in Living Color. She was the most annoying person in the world.
Yep.
But she was fantastic in this movie, though. Yeah,
she was very, very good. Very good. And I liked the character of the father a lot. Charles Parnell.
Yes.
He did a fantastic job, and I do like these kinds of movies, family dramas.
Yeah. I thought they did it in a very mature way. And like I said before, it wasn't heavy-handed.
Yep.
Which is most of those movies tend to be. After, halfway through, you're like, oh, I get it. It's tough. But just dial it back a little bit. But this movie, I didn't feel that.
It seemed like, the main character, it seemed like she didn't have it nearly as bad as her friend.
Yeah.
I thought that her friend Laura had it a lot worse than she did. Very solid movie. Definitely recommend that one. Definitely.
Yes.
Anything else other than Prometheus?
Declaration of War. It's pretty good. There's nothing spectacular, special. It's just sort of, to me, it was sort of standard fare. Your prototypical French movie.
It looked interesting.
Yeah, I mean, they add a little bit of, I don't want to say quirkiness because I fucking hate that word.
That's the it word this year.
I know. Oh my god.
Quirkiness.
That's why and it's like invaded my brain that I can't think of another word besides that.
Charm.
But
that's another one.
Okay.
That's another it word. It's a charming film.
Yeah, they definitely try and do little charming things with the narrators and the your standard the French close up where they zoom in. Mm-hmm. Or when the phone rings, they zoom in on the phone. All that stuff. You know, the music and everything. But I didn't feel as though there was anything that separated it from any other movie.
So
there's nothing special about it.
Just to recap, Declaration of War, this is a French film. It's about, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not like reading this. It's about a couple and they have a son. Is it a son? Mm-hmm. Who does the son have cancer?
The son, yeah, they realized that he's having a lot of developmental problems. He's not walking. He's always tilting his head and all this stuff. So they go and they find out, you know, they're going to do a scan and they find out he has a brain tumor and it's on his brainstem. So they do, you know, they go from there and they do surgery and stuff and they find out that it's a malignant tumor, and it's more about the young couple like deciding. The declaration of war is they're deciding to declare war on illness and sadness and all that stuff, and they're trying to be uplifting and staying positive. You know, it was a good movie, but like I said, it's nothing special. Like you said about Pariah, that I feel as though I've seen this movie before.
Yeah. Well, the first movie that I saw this week was American Animal. And you can watch Declaration of War on Play Instant, right? You just said that? Yeah. American Animal is also on demand and on DVD. This is written and directed by Matt D'Elia, and it stars him as well. And it also stars Brendan Fletcher. And it's kind of a weird movie. It's kind of quirky. It's not very charming, but it is quirky.
We should use the word quirky for everything today.
Yeah, that's the word of the day is quirky. This is about a guy who is dying of a terminal illness. Now, they don't say in the movie what the illness is, but he is dying of a terminal illness, and his descent into madness as a result of this. He wakes up one day and he's like, you know what? I'm just going to do whatever I want and act however I want, and I'm going to ignore the fact that I'm dying, and I'm just going to live my life to the fullest. In his situation, I guess, his version of living life to the fullest is staying in his apartment all day and dressing up in costumes and being weird. And it's a very, very pretentious film, overly pretentious, but I think that it's supposed to be that way. It has a Todd Solondz feel to it, where there are some, I don't know if I would say shocking moments, but sort of graphic moments to it. And I don't know if this was intentional, if it was a stylistic choice or what, but the version of the film that I saw, which I rented on iTunes, was censored. Now, I don't know if the DVD is uncensored or what, but there were several scenes that were actually blurred out in the movie. So I'm going to look it up and see if that was something that was in the original version or if they had to do that to get like an R rating or what. But
yeah,
it was an interesting watch. A little long-winded, I guess you could say. There's a lot of, the entire movie takes place in this apartment, and it's entirely dialogue driven. It's just nothing but interaction between these two roommates and then their two friends that they have come over.
Yeah.
a lot of like monologues by Matt D'Elia. His character's name was Jimmy, and it was okay. I would probably only recommend it for somebody that's like really into movies and art and that type of thing.
I see the poster says the best art film ever. I would like to know. I can't read who said it though. Oh wait, Screen Junkies.
I don't agree that it's an art film. It's a film about art, I would say. It's, as I said before, it's very pretentious, but I think that they wanted it to be really pretentious. I hope that they did. But
I'm sure they
at
did.
the same time, it's like, I don't care about these guys. These guys, they're like probably our age, mid-20s, late 20s, maybe even early 30s. Neither of them have a job, and that's a kind of a plot point. One of them gets a job, and the roommate gets a job, and Jimmy doesn't like it. They live in this amazing...
They always do. They always do.
Amazing apartment.
I love that.
I think they live in LA.
Yeah, like any show or movie where where it deals with, people in their late 20s, early 30s that don't have jobs. They always live in like the greatest place ever.
Yeah, they live in this
where they have a ridiculously shitty job, but they still have the greatest apartment ever.
Yeah, they live in this amazing apartment. But see, the thing is, they both come from wealthy families, very, very wealthy families. So as a result, neither of them ever have to work a day in their lives. And
so, did you see this movie as more of like, was he actually trying to like comment, like make a comment on that? Was it being called American Animal?
Yeah, they touch on it.
Okay.
I feel like if it wasn't a comment on that, they wouldn't have mentioned the fact that they come from wealthy families and they don't have to work. Like, the character of Jimmy is he's always in this like kind of high and mighty mindset where he feels like he has the world figured out. Like he has everything figured out. He knows everything. He thinks of himself as being an evolved human being. Like he's evolved past what we are. And that, I think that just kind of, I think they're commenting on that because it's like, how can you be all knowing when all you do all day is sit around in your apartment and do nothing?
Yeah. Well, he has plenty of time to think, apparently.
I would like you to see it just so I can figure out how you feel about it.
Yeah, I have a feeling that from, hearing your thoughts on it, that I would hate this movie.
I don't think you would like it, no. I don't think you would. I tried to like it. There were funny parts. I mean, it was a comedy. It was just a dark comedy.
Yeah.
I also saw Take This Waltz.
Ooh, that's right.
Didn't like it.
Did not like it. Take This Waltz, huh?
Also felt somewhat pretentious to me.
Ooh.
There were moments. There were moments that I enjoyed. Good performances all around by Michelle Williams, Seth Rogen, Sarah Silverman, and Luke Kirby. But I just didn't really get the point of the movie. It's about this. The main character is Michelle Williams, and she's on a trip. She meets Luke Kirby's character. His name's Daniel, and they have this little conversation stuff. Like they sit next to each other on the plane, and when she's wherever she is on her trip, she sees him there too. And then like they share a cab back to her house, and it turns out that he lives right across the street. So it's like this sort of, it's like all these crazy coincidences and things like that. And she starts to develop feelings for him. He develops feelings for her. But the problem is she's married to Seth Rogen. And it turns into this love triangle thing where she's trying to not cheat on her husband, but ultimately we know what happens, or you can probably surmise.
No.
And Sarah Silverman plays an alcoholic in it. I will also say this. There is a scene that has Michelle Williams and Sarah Silverman full frontal. So, for those of you that are attracted to Michelle Williams and Sarah Silverman, full frontal.
I'd love that. That's like a selling point to some people.
And I think it would be a selling point to Ryan.
Yeah. It's funny to me. They'll be like, full frontal for what, like 2 seconds? Yeah, I'll spend 116 minutes waiting for that.
It's actually a pretty big scene. It's a scene with them showering in a gym. And it's actually a really funny scene. There were some parts that made me laugh, but overall, I didn't really like it too much. We reviewed it on the site, gave it a 6.5.
Okay.
Good, not great.
That's pretty much what it looked like.
Yeah, good, not great. You won't really get anything out of it. And it was entirely too long too. It just plodded on and on and on.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
That's all I got. I watched a little movie called Prometheus. I don't know if you want to talk about that or not.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in just a minute. Let's do some Ryan Watches a Movie first, shall we?
We shall.
This is Ryan Watches a Movie, where we get our friend Ryan to watch a movie and tell us what he thought.
Oh no. Little kids got naked and had lots of sex.
Magi.
Bro.
Watching the Guardian. Don't even waste your time.
Welcome back, Ryan. What do we have you watch this week?
Jack and Jill.
Jack, 2011's Jack and Jill. This is in honor of That's My Boy. I almost forgot the name of it. That's My Boy with Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg coming out this Friday. Jack and Jill got a 3% on Rotten Tomatoes. And let me go ahead and read the official synopsis on IMDb. Family Guy Jack Sadelstein prepares for the annual event he dreads, the Thanksgiving visit of his twin sister, the needy and passive-aggressive Jill, who refuses to leave. The tagline of this film, his twin sister is coming for the holidays, and it ain't pretty.
I don't even know what that means.
Is that really a tagline?
That's what it says on the poster. I mean,
wow.
I'm not really
Yeah,
sure what
that's
that means.
pretty awful. The film's directed by Dennis Dugan, who you may remember us talking about from our Problem Child episode. Let me go ahead and play the Jack and Jill trailer before we get your thoughts, Ryan.
In every family, there's one person who drives you a little crazy.
I gotta pick Jill up at 4 a.m.
She comes once a year and she's leaving on Sunday.
But during the holidays,
Jack, no fighting this year.
there's no escaping it when it's your sister,
How we doing?
your twin sister.
Are you going bald? Huh? No. You're getting fatter and your hair doesn't realize it needs to cover more face. Okay.
From the producers of Just Go With It and Grown Ups.
And Jill are so alike.
We are nothing alike, I promise you.
She isn't subtle.
Jill, this is Otto.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. He's homeless, right? Are you whispering with a bullhorn or something? Everybody hears you.
She isn't shy.
I put a little list together of things I want to do before I leave. Studio tour, beach, horseback riding. Let's go! Oh my God! Maybe I should stay out through Hanukkah.
And she isn't leaving.
She's forwarding her mail to us now.
What's this about a twin?
Oh, Jackie has a twin sister.
Identical or fraternal?
Nocturnal, like a bat.
This fall.
Seriously, honey? Can't you try a little harder? She's your sister. Guess who is taking you to the Lakers game?
Finally, some
Okay, I think
twin
I've had enough of that.
Yes, please. That was the most boring trailer I've ever heard.
Before I continue, I wanted to mention two things. One, for those of you that don't know, this is starring Adam Sandler and Adam Sandler as his twin sister.
What?
So that's the big
In the
thing.
trailer, it says everyone has someone in their family drives me a little crazy. Adam Sandler as a woman makes me want to kill myself and everyone else.
The other thing I wanted to mention was what I do a lot of times as I'm trying to fall asleep at night is that I'll put on really terrible movies to fall asleep to. So, like, I put on Smurfs one night, and I actually put this on one night. So, full disclosure, I did see maybe half to 3/4 of this movie. So
this made you fall asleep.
Yes, essentially.
It was sort of your nightlight.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I'm surprised it even put you to sleep at all. I wouldn't be able to sleep with that annoying bitch talking all the time.
Whoa.
Wow.
By annoying bitch, I'm talking about Adam Sandler.
Whoa.
Okay, why don't you tell us about the movie, Ryan?
Please.
It was terrible. Absolutely terrible. It was one of the worst movies I ever saw.
I'm so happy.
There's nothing. This movie is f***ing stupid. There's no, like, tight plot points. There's no, like, continuing. Well, there's a slim amount of continuing storyline. But whenever you watch this, it feels like Adam Sandler just said, "Oh, I know how we can fix this. We can do this," or, you know what I mean? It was like he just thought of shit and put it in the movie to fill holes. Like, nothing makes sense at all.
And the funniest part about the trailer was the voiceover guy, and he's like, "From the producers of Grown Ups," and just go with it. Like, that's gonna drive people to theaters. Like,
oh yeah,
I want to see it now.
What?
I have to see it.
Wait, did you say Grown Ups?
Grown Ups.
Just go with it?
Just go with it.
Holy shit, this has to be amazing.
Yes.
I just have to say, Ryan, that I'm very happy that you didn't like this movie. I was a little worried that you would like it, and this was going to be your highest rated movie, and I was all ready to just go f***ing ape shit on you. But I don't have to. I don't have to do that now, and I'm very happy.
It kind of reminds me of, if anyone has seen Strange Wilderness, like, that movie also did not make a lick of sense. It just felt like it was thrown together, and they did whatever they had to do to keep the story going.
Okay, one thing that I will say, Strange Wilderness was probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And even though Jack and Jill is terrible, it's horrible. I hated every moment of it that I saw. But Strange Wilderness, the end part alone, how they just said screw it. They were just like, and then
that's one of what happens there.
Like, with Strange Wilderness, they just gave up. However, the shark scene still makes me laugh when he's doing the shark laugh.
Oh.
That still makes me laugh.
I can't wish you had that soundbite right now.
We'll plug it in there. I have to ask, because I keep seeing it everywhere. Apparently, Al Pacino plays himself.
Yes.
How does Al Pacino
He's horrible.
do in Jack and Jill? Ryan?
I don't even, Adam, maybe you can answer this, but I don't even know why. Like, you don't get his whole storyline.
Well,
like, it felt like, again, Adam Sandler was like, oh, I need a famous person, somebody to throw Al Pacino in there, and have me obsessed with my sister, who looks strangely like a man. Because Al Pacino does that kind of shit all the time.
Yeah, I think he was just looking to get someone, like, that wouldn't normally fit in that role or whatever, and somebody that would surprise you. But they show it in the trailer, so I mean, it's not like a big surprise.
He succeeded, I guess.
I mean, it was bad. Everything about it was bad.
That bird's an asshole too.
Wait, that what?
Do you know what I'm talking about? The talking bird.
I don't remember.
There's a talking bird that's an asshole?
The girl version of Adam Sandler.
Okay.
Carries this, pet bird around. And he mimics pretty much everything Adam Sandler says. And number one, it's annoying as shit. Number two, the CG is horrible. I could probably do better CG on my desktop computer.
Whoa. I just realized that the ShamWow guy is in this movie?
Yes. Let's go over the cast list because we didn't really go over that. So we talked about Adam Sandler and Al Pacino. Katie Holmes is in it. She plays his wife. And then we also have little cameos and whatever by David Spade, Nick Swartzen, Tim Meadows, Norm Macdonald. Dana Carvey's in it apparently, but I don't even remember him being in it.
I don't remember. That. It seems they spend a lot of money getting people to make cameos and not a lot of money making a good movie.
And that's exactly the case for all of Happy Madison's movies.
Yeah.
Pretty much every Happy Madison movie, it's all ex-SNL people from that era.
Yeah, I read that this was Dana Carvey's first movie in 9 years or something.
Ugh. What a shame.
Which, I don't know. What was that movie where Dana Carvey played the master of disguise and he was Turtle?
It was called Master of Disguise.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yes. Was that 9 years ago?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Norm Macdonald's character's name was Fun Bucket.
There were some guest spots in here that were kind of funny. Like Shaq. He was in it real quick, but it is pretty funny. But overall, it was terrible. And again, when the guest people are introduced, they are loosely, for the most part, tied to this movie. And it feels like, once again, Adam Sandler said, "Well, I need various cameos in this movie, so I'm gonna put this part in the script." Like the part where Jill is on, the hell's that show called? Price is Right.
Oh yeah.
With Drew Carey.
That's
and
right.
It knocks himself out on the wheel. I don't even know how that's possible.
Oh my god, that sounds hilarious, though.
It is so funny.
Oh my god, that's the stuff
I gotta ask you, Ryan, what did you think about his son, Gary? His name was Gary Sandelstein. Was he adopted, or did they mention that?
Actually, it's funny that you mention that because when I was taking notes on this, I was halfway through and I just put ethnic kids and a question mark, and 5 minutes later they briefly mentioned that they're adopted.
Oh, okay. Because I was wondering that. I don't remember if that was a
still
part.
F***ing weird as shit. The little girl. Why does she have that goddamn doll that is dressed up like her?
It's just a weird movie.
And why does the kid tape salt shakers to his head? It just seems like Adam Sandler smoked entirely too much weed one day, and he read the script and it made him laugh, but it was so high that he didn't realize that it wouldn't make anyone else laugh. Because it shouldn't make anyone else laugh, except for how ridiculous it is.
And this movie was written by Adam Sandler, but it was also written by Steve Coren, who wrote 1,000 Words and Evan Almighty.
Holy shit. Strong
And
track
Click.
record.
Click.
Damn.
But he was a writer for SNL. That was like his big thing. So
yeah, and that was probably during the shitty years.
I think he was like during the Sandler years, the 90s. He was on. He wrote from 91 to 98. So he actually looks like he wrote a bunch.
Ryan, do you agree with the 3%? Do you think that's too high or too low?
That seems about right.
About right?
I mean, I hate to talk shit on Adam Sandler.
No, dude.
Because
do it.
when I was a little kid, well, not little, but like 10, 15 years ago, like Happy Gilmore, Grandma's Boy, this kind of movies were the shit to me.
Well, number one, there's like a 10-year difference between Happy Gilmore and Grandma's Boy.
Yeah.
He wasn't in Grandma's Boy, was he?
No, but it was not a Payne Madison production.
Yeah, but still. But that doesn't really mean anything. I mean,
Dick Sportson's pretty fun in this movie.
Is he?
he's not.
I didn't think so. I don't understand why people think he's funny. I keep trying to like him, but I can't.
The only character that I like him in is from Reno 911. I think his name was like Terry or something in Reno 911.
No, like
the roller skating game.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was funny. But
this is just, to me, it looks like comedy for like, I don't know, like prepubescent boys.
Even I don't even know. I don't even know if that's that would be inaccurate.
Yeah, because I don't even think that at that age I would have liked this stuff.
I don't think so. I mean, we've seen movies like this before, similar movies. It never works. The concept never works. No. I actually just watched a movie called Nothing But Trouble. I don't know if you guys ever heard of this, with Chevy Chase, John Candy, and Dan Aykroyd.
Oh, you goddamn right.
Have you heard of this movie? And John Candy plays like one character, and he also plays like the sister of that character, similar to this. But it's much better when John Candy does it. I mean, come on.
John Candy.
It also feels like in most of this movie, it feels like Adam Sandler was like trying to show off the fact that he was two different characters because they showed both of them on screen constantly.
Yeah, they really, really harped on the whole like movie magic of him being like hugging and touching and stuff like that, so to really make you feel like it's two different people.
Oh my god.
It's two different people.
One is reacting to the other one.
Then the height difference was like to it.
If that. It didn't work. I'll tell you, it really did work in Social Network. In fact, I think it was just like last week, Ryan. You thought that they were two people?
Yeah,
the Winklevoss twins.
Yeah. the Winklevi.
The Winklevi.
This is the best. Yeah, they did a great job with that.
Yeah, that looked fantastic. But with Adam Sandler movies, they're all the same. Every movie, it's just turning into the exact same movie. Like, there'll be some kind of a weird hook to it that supposedly makes it different. But in the end, it's always, it has the same tone to it. And it's funny because like it starts off bad. So like you have movies like, I think maybe starting with probably Spanglish. From that point on, it was just like downhill. Yeah. Even there was some other ones in there too, probably before that. But I'd say from Spanglish on, they like all his movies kind of devolved into just these plotless shells where it's just nothing but jokes. Ooh. And like we need some more. Sandler, we need some more.
I am going to... I found out the 3 people that gave this a fresh on Rotten Tomatoes to ruin its 0%.
Oh,
Which
here we go.
I remember when this movie came out, I was so excited that it was maintaining at 0%. And I got so pissed off when it jumped up to a 3%. Number one, Jackie K. Cooper. You're an idiot. Michael A. Smith, you're a f***ing idiot. And John Hazelton, you're an idiot. Ridiculous. Jack and Jill's a good movie. Give me a break.
I think this goes back to the credibility of Rotten Tomatoes as well, because, you know, if you read these guys' reviews, they might not be glowing reviews.
No, I mean, Jackie Cooper's is a 6 out of 10, which is a certified fresh.
Right.
Yeah, that at most I would say like 4. At the very, very best case scenario.
If you give it a if you give it a 4, I will smack you in the face tomorrow.
No, I told you I'd kill myself.
Okay, I'm gonna hug you tomorrow then.
Yeah, and it looks like Michael A. Smith gave it a 3 out of 5, which I mean,
it sounds like these guys give it like a mediocre middle ground score.
Yeah, but that's the thing that sucks about Rotten Tomatoes. It's either fresh or it's rotten. Yeah. It's either one or the other. There's no gray area.
There's no manila folder score.
Yeah. There's no happy medium there.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts before we give you your drum roll, Ryan? What is that?
I'm gonna that's how I feel about this movie. It's not even worth the fucking English language coming out of my mouth.
Yes. I like it.
Okay. Let me go ahead and give you your drum roll. What did you give Jack and Jill?
1.
What? 1.
1.
There we go.
1.
There it is.
1.
I just want to do like a Tim and Eric type deal where we just go 1 and we just keep hitting the symbol. 1, hit the symbol. 1, hit the symbol, and just go on for like 3 minutes.
You can do this.
We got a little situation here.
Little Vincent Gallo action, huh? Little Vincent Gallo.
I drive cars that shift themselves.
Yes.
Okay, that's a 1 out of 10 for Jack and Jill.
Oh.
Thank you for watching that with us, Ryan. If you want to pick up your own copy of Jack and Jill, which I know you do, on Blu-ray, You can get that. Just head on over to the site at filmpulse.net, click on Ryan Watches a Movie, and the links will be there.
Adam, I just want to point out that it's going to be your fault when I blow my brains out.
Whoa, thanks
for watching all these awful movies.
Kill yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ryan, and we will see you next week.
See you later.
Let's talk about some Amazon deals. To get these incredible deals, just go to our site at filmpulse.net and either click on the Amazon banner, shop as you would normally, or click on the store link, check out some of our favorites and what we've been talking about on the show. First up, we have Back to the Future Trilogy Blu-ray.
Ooh.
$23.99. That's all of them. All of them on Blu-ray. There's you should definitely check it out. There's some Father's Day deals happening right now.
Oh.
And there's definitely some good stuff in there.
By the way, I saw your dad when I went and saw Prometheus.
Oh, was he at the movie?
No, he was at, there's, I guess, a place called Sweet Frog.
I don't know what that is.
It's like an ice cream place or something. He was sitting outside with Debbie eating ice cream.
Oh.
We were driving by.
Cool. I'll have to tell him you saw him. We also have Rambo, the complete collector set on Blu-ray, $23.49.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I will admit, Rambo is a guilty pleasure of mine. I like all the Rambo movies, and this is great. All of them on Blu-ray for $23.49.
Yeah.
And finally, we have Anchorman: The Legend of Ron Burgundy, Blu-ray $9.99. So there you go. Pick some of those up.
Pretty good deals right there.
Let's talk about Prometheus.
Oh, yeah.
I'll start it off and I'll say I did really like the movie. You can read my review on filmpulse.net. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. And it's one that I was kind of fighting with myself to come up with a score for this, because it's a movie that you really got to think about, and it's a movie that has to sit with you for a little bit before you kind of decide whether or not you liked it. It wasn't the best science fiction movie of all time, which is what I had hoped it would be.
Yeah.
But it had enough in it to make me want to recommend it for a watch.
Yeah. No, if you're into sci-fi, it's a must see. You can definitely give it that title.
Yeah.
If you like sci-fi movies, this is a must see.
I'd first like to mention the visuals. What did you think of the movie visually?
Oh, the opening was just amazing. And the whole time I was doing the opening, I was like, oh, so this is like the sci-fi version of Tree of Life?
Yeah, it is actually sort of that way.
Yeah, because you know what I mean? They're sort of dealing with the same thing. Mm-hmm. He's just doing it in a very scientific manner.
I love the visuals. I
want to know where they filmed that.
It looked everything like on the ship, on the Prometheus, and everything, all the sets looked so good. I particularly liked all the stuff on the ship because it all kind of harkened back to the early Alien movies. And I really liked that. The way that the suits looked, the way that everything kind of looked on the ship, I thought was incredible. I loved it. I love that whole look.
Oh yeah. I mean, just everything. All the visuals were fantastic. The set designs, the production quality, everything was amazing.
Yeah. And what we'll do, before I forget, we won't talk about any spoilers. We'll have a section here at the end of our discussion, and we'll just do some spoilers, and I'll put it in the show notes, the time code, so you can avoid it if you haven't seen it.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of spoilers. There's a lot of spoilers to discuss.
There's just going to be tons. I'm gonna wreck this movie for anyone that continues to listen.
Let's talk about acting performances. I thought that Noomi Rapace and Michael Fassbender were the breakouts of that movie.
Correct.
They did.
And was this Noomi's first
no
American film?
No, she was in Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I thought that they both did a phenomenal job. And
yeah.
I think I said in the review that it was interesting because they were by far the two strongest performances, but their performances were polar opposites of each other. Mm-hmm. Noomi Rapace, her character had to, she was the Ellen Ripley character. She had to go through this intense emotional gauntlet throughout the entire movie. And Michael Fassbender, even in the most tense situations, he had to maintain this calm demeanor the entire time.
Yeah,
and
because he doesn't know fear.
Right,
he's an android.
Because he's an android. And I thought that but again, I thought that across the board the performances were good. I like Idris Elba is one of my favorite up-and-coming actors, and I thought he did a good job. And one thing that I was really concerned about in the trailers was that in the trailers they have a couple lines by him with the southern accent, and I was thinking like, oh no, like that's not going to be good. But in the movie itself, I thought that it was subtle enough that it didn't bother me.
Yeah, there's only a couple things that I was bothered by performance-wise. Number one, Guy Pearce. I don't understand that at all. Why? Why do you need Guy Pearce to play that character?
Well, I thought that too, and then I thought maybe this is like, because and we'll probably get into this more in spoilers, but I feel like that this movie is nothing but a setup.
Oh yeah, it's a complete setup.
I think
the only thing that this movie did was just raise a shit ton more questions.
Yeah.
It didn't answer anything.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's going to be something that we'll get into. But as far as the Guy Pearce thing, of what we've seen so far, the only thing that I can come up with is why he was that old man was because of the TED Talks viral video that they came out with when they had him as a young man.
That's true.
So I don't know if they're planning on coming out with.
That's true.
I don't know if they're gonna like have
and
him
was something that I did want to ask you about, because I didn't really see those, and I felt as though like maybe I'm missing something because I didn't see those their viral marketing campaign.
Yeah, I would go back and watch them because they turned out to be more than just promotional videos. It actually was, I mean, it was almost like deleted scenes or something that they put that in there to help build this whole mythos up even more.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but I will agree that I did have some issue with Guy Pearce in the old man suit.
Yeah, which all the effects were amazing, but the old man makeup was awful.
I didn't think it was awful, but I thought it was. I thought it was typical. I thought it was
ridiculous.
I don't think
it was too much.
I don't think any old man makeup looks good, honestly.
No.
Like even in like Benjamin Button and stuff, I still didn't. I wasn't buying it.
Yeah.
Maybe in J. Edgar, but even that. Still.
Yeah. And I also thought Charlize Theron was a little bit wasted performance there.
Yeah,
I don't think they really gave her much to work with.
That was another thing that I was talking about. I saw it with my girlfriend, and we talked about that a little bit. I didn't really understand her character. I thought that it was a wasted performance. That she almost didn't need to be there.
No.
Because she was. I mean, I understand that they wanted to have a representative from the Whalen Corporation be on there. I mean, it's just like what they did in the second Alien with Paul Reiser, and yeah, she was just kind of wasted. I mean, she did a good job for sure, but I don't know if we can talk about anything as far as plot without spoiling it. Was there anything else you wanted to add before we go into our spoiler section?
Yes, this is my main criticism of this film, which is it's no spoiler at all. The soundtrack, the score for this movie was god awful. It was so terrible, and it really upset me.
You know, I didn't have too many issues with the score. Normally in movies, I don't notice the score unless it's something really really prominent. And I did notice the score in this movie, but I heard people say that they actually used they reworked some of the score from the first Alien movie. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I might have to look into that. But I didn't have issue with the score.
Oh my god, I hated it. And I didn't even know, because that was like the first thing I said when my wife asked me what I thought of it. I was like, the music was awful. It was so cheesy. And it was that damn like inspirational orchestral music that I can't fucking stand. And the reason that I was really upset by it was because this movie was, you could tell that the entire thing, it was going for atmosphere. And I thought that just ruined the atmosphere of having that soundtrack.
They did have the wall. I do remember they did that a couple times. Wall.
Yeah, I was, and whenever the music came on, I was just like, oh man, I'm just waiting for them to do like a cliched round up and huddle up everyone and give an inspiring speech, which thank God never happened.
I did love the fact that the crew, just the whole crew, how they did it just like all the other Alien movies, where it was a very diverse crew. Like you had people that they looked different, they acted different, they had different backgrounds, different ethnicities. I like that. I like it when movies do that with the crew.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it was scary, but I did think that it was very suspenseful. There was one scene in particular that I thought was really, really suspenseful.
Yeah, there was a couple crazy scenes.
And I thought that all the deaths were pretty horrific.
There was one that we'll talk about in the spoilers. One scene that I thought was completely unnecessary. And I really didn't like it. The one scene.
Okay.
But there was definitely something that I should have done, because I went and saw this with Ryan. So Ryan's asking me questions after the movie about the original Aliens. And I realized that the week leading up to going to see this, I should have probably went back and watched the old ones, because to be honest, I don't really remember anything from those movies.
When I got home after seeing this, there's several websites that have the links between Prometheus and the Alien series, and I went through and read that, and that was kind of interesting to see all the different nuanced connections between them.
Yeah, because Ryan's asking me all these questions. I'm like, you know what, Ryan? To be honest, I don't remember the Alien movies at all.
Well, the big thing to remember is that this movie takes place in 2089, and the Alien movies take place decades later, like a long time later. I think it was like 2179 or something where the Alien movies take place. So there's a long span of time that goes by.
Well, one other thing. Another scene that I didn't like in this movie, which I hope they're not correct in, is I hope that in the year 2093 or whatever, I think it was 2093, right? When they actually land on the planet.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
Yeah. I really hope that damn song is still not popular. That if you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you're with. I hope that's not a popular song by that time. Oh, God.
Let's go into spoilers. We'll put the time code on the show notes. So if you haven't seen the movie, if you don't want anything spoiled, please stop listening now. Just fast forward through and then we'll come back to you. Okay, we are in a spoiler section. Let's talk about the plot first and what you took away from it. Because I think that's the big thing that people are having issue with, is that it doesn't answer anything as far as where the aliens came from, where these what do they call them, engineers, where they came from, what they are. I mean, we can assume that these engineers created us, supposedly, and then they decided to kill us. But I don't understand why.
We don't even know that.
And I don't.
It's not like they ever came out and said, we're the engineers and we want to kill everyone on Earth. You know what I mean? That's just sort of us.
That's what we thought.
Yeah, us Earthlings probably being paranoid as fuck and just thinking everyone wants to destroy us.
Well,
but you don't know. Maybe that stuff was a gift.
Well, they did show, like, in the scenes where they were having those like hologram things that were recapping, I guess, what happened. They said that they were planning on boarding the ships and going to Earth. That was their destination, and the ships were like had weapons on them, like all those.
Well, we don't know if they were actually weapons.
Well, there's something nasty. I mean?
Yeah, but to the engineers, they might have thought that that's what needed to be done, because essentially that black goo that they had was like nanotechnology that essentially it morphed your DNA.
Yeah, like reworked it like evolved you.
So who are we to say that the engineers weren't? They were trying to create the perfect specimen, and maybe to them that this new alien creature is the perfect specimen. So they were going to Earth and fix us, maybe.
Could
not
be.
necessarily destroy us. Maybe they thought that this was a really great idea.
Well, by doing that, it probably would destroy us, though. As we are now.
It would completely fuck us up. But it might turn us into these cool-ass alien things.
The other thing, the opening scene, when he...
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that, too, what your thoughts were. Because I loved that opening scene.
I
thought
opening
that was
scene,
cool.
but I didn't get it.
I thought the engineers were really cool looking.
Yeah, they were. We can assume that he was on Earth. That's the thing. Like, so he was the guy was on Earth when he took the stuff.
Okay.
That like killed him, I think.
I thought he was on the planet that they visited.
No, maybe he was.
I thought it was, well, they had the giant flying saucer leave, and I thought it was sort of, at first I thought it was everyone was leaving the planet, and he just sort of got left behind. But I also didn't know, you know, he opens up the little container and takes a drink of the thing, and I was wondering did he know that was going to completely destroy him?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or was it essentially a weapon that sort of got loose and destroyed everything? So he was just like, oh, I'm going to take a stroll to the waterfall and have some tea. And then, oh shit, what happens? And he dies.
That I couldn't.
I couldn't figure it out.
Well, what I took away from that was that he knew that was going to happen, and he was kind of just ending his own life. But I don't understand why.
Yeah,
I don't get the significance of that. And maybe we're not supposed to. Maybe that's just a piece of the puzzle that is going to be filled in later. The scene that I mentioned before that I thought was awesome, and hopefully it's not the scene that you thought was unnecessary, was when she did the C-section on herself.
No.
I thought that whole scene, like from her trying to escape from David and, you know, finding the surgery machine and trying to perform it and get the thing out of her, and just that whole scene I thought was awesome.
Yeah, I did enjoy that scene, and I have to, because I was telling you before we started recording that Ryan wanted so badly to have an alien rip out of somebody, and I know that whole time that scene was happening, like you could feel it sitting beside him, that he was getting so excited because he wanted that alien to just burst out, and then when it gets cut out. And, you know, he doesn't essentially get the only thing he wanted to see from the entire movie. You could just see the disappointment on his face.
Oh, poor Ryan. Poor Ryan.
Yeah, he was not happy.
What did you think? Well, okay, what was the scene that you thought was unnecessary?
Fifield coming back as, like, the werewolf type thing.
That was creepy, I thought.
I didn't get it. I didn't understand.
Well, because it did the same thing with him that it did with the engineer at the end, where it impregnates the person or whatever.
But he didn't, I don't know, it just seemed a little odd to me that he didn't, it's not like he turned into an alien or had anything.
Not yet.
But he just essentially turned into like he almost looked like a werewolf to me. Like the Wolfman.
I think he was just kind of a vessel. I think that it infected him in order to transport the infection onto that ship and to try to spread it.
Could have been.
I think
that's for some reason I didn't like that scene.
Now, I also thought that scene when him and the other guy were dispatched was pretty intense, especially how the plastic on the dome melted onto his face. Like that looked crazy.
I do have to say that, let's be honest, the team of doctors and scientists that they got for this mission are fucking stupid and completely unprofessional.
Well, they were dealing
with the worst team ever.
They were dealing with something completely new that they've never dealt with before. But here's my question.
But you would think that you would get like the best of the best for this type of mission, not essentially immature children. Like what? It just blew my mind on some of the things, but that's just me being too.
And that's how all the alien movies are. If you see Alien 1, Alien 2, game over, man.
They're just...
I mean, that's how they always act in those movies. Like, as soon as they see something that they can't explain, they're done. I mean, it just completely fries their brain.
That's what I thought was funny about Fifield. He goes on this huge rant about how he's into rocks and stuff. I'm like, there's fucking rocks everywhere, and you haven't even looked at them. Like, they didn't catch your attention at all. You're on a foreign planet. Are you kidding me? If you're that much into rocks, like, how are you not checking out the soil? Anything?
Well,
he's just like walking around like, it's like if they were at a mall or something.
Well, I guess he didn't feel like he needed to. That wasn't part of the mission. I mean, you know, he's going on and on about how he's really into rocks. Well, they
stuff.
did have him do some like surveying and stuff. Like, he was the one that was putting up those floating ball things that surveyed that like mapped the cave system, and he was the one that he did like an analysis as they were driving to the caves.
Yeah,
but
also, like, how do you get lost? You have all that technology, and you couldn't remember that you only took 2 right turns to get where you were.
Well, that's
and you know what I mean. And you can just,
but
but you can call back to Idris Elba too and be like, he has a whole 3D map. Of
no,
place.
remember their communications went down because of the storm.
No. Well, they got lost before the storm came. That's why they never made it outside.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess they didn't want them to think that they were like an idiot or something. But here's my question. Okay, now this is something that was like sticking with me the whole time. All right, they go to the caves. All right, and it's Numi Rapace and her partner, and David, and then the girl scientist, and then the 2 guys that get lost, right? So there's 7 people that go into the caves initially. And they take two dune buggy things and then this truck. All right? And then once they're like, okay, the storm's coming up, we got to leave. The two guys that got lost, they stay there. So why, when the other people, when they get to the vehicles, why were they not like, oh, wait a minute, those guys mustn't have left yet because all the vehicles are still here?
Yeah,
I didn't get that. Like, why were they just like, oh, screw it?
Well, they died.
Yeah, and I didn't quite get that, but again, that's nitpicking, I guess.
Well, but also, I mean, there's the little snake thing. Number one.
Oh, that guy was an idiot.
Yeah. Number one, they left that place because they were so freaked out about it. So when you decide that you're going to have to spend a night in the dome, why do you go back to that room that you were so freaked out to begin with, which is now worse than it was before because there's black goo everywhere?
Yeah.
Why are you like, this is a perfect place to set up shop? This was the room that scared the shit out of us and made us leave in the first place, but we should spend the night here.
Well, plus, the idiot guy, when they do see the creature, he gets in his face.
Yeah, he just walks up to it. He's like, hey, how you doing?
He tries to touch it. He gets in its face. Like, well, I'm sorry, but if I saw that thing, I'd be running away from it.
Number one, it's a planet that you've never been on before in your entire life. You know nothing about it. It looked creepy as fuck. There's black goo shit everywhere. What makes you think, like, yeah, I'm going to try and become friends with this thing? And even when it, like, opened up its face or whatever the hell it was, like, that's when I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, no, I'm done.
Yep.
Because it got a lot worse.
Yeah. I'm sure he was regretting it as soon as it decided to wrap around his arm and kill him. And yes. the arm breaking scene was pretty...
That was awesome.
One other thing I wanted to mention or ask you about was the hologram things where they show what happened there.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think they were running from?
It's a good question. I don't know.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, what killed them?
Because at first I thought it was their weaponized chemicals or whatever it was, the black goo.
Right, that's what I
nanotechnology. But what it doesn't make sense that they would be running into those rooms.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because like almost all of them were dead outside of those rooms, unless they were trying to go destroy it. I don't know, but it doesn't look like it can be destroyed.
Yeah, that was one thing I had a question, and I'm only to assume that this is all going to be lead up to, and it is worth mentioning that the writer of Prometheus is one of the guys that wrote Lost.
Yeah.
And that has a very similar... I was never a big fan of Lost. I never really watched Lost, but...
I was just going to say that means that he's going to build this up for a couple years and then just completely disappoint the fuck out of everyone. Because he's gonna get to the point where he's like, shit, I don't know how to end this.
His name's Damon Lindelof is his name. So yeah, a lot of unanswered questions.
Yeah, because when they show, when they figure out that when David finds out that it's a ship and figures it out, and they go through all that animation, the recording of that, they don't show what happened there, like how they died.
Yeah.
Like, why did one person get into one of the sleep chambers, but no one else, and there was no dead bodies around?
Were they in the sleep chambers, just dead? Or were the sleep chambers empty?
I don't know.
It's a mind-bending movie to think about, because I think it's one of those movies where we're just struggling to find answers that just aren't there.
Yeah.
But overall, I will say that I did enjoy the movie a lot. Did you want to add... before we leave the spoiler section, what did you think about the alien at the end?
I don't know.
I liked it, but it felt tacked on.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought. It was just added there like, shit, we got to give them something.
Yeah, that was nothing but fan service, as far as I'm concerned.
And it sort of messed with me a little bit because... unlike you guys, I wasn't really into the Alien movies that much. Like, I liked them, but I'm not like a huge fanboy or anything, and I don't think they're amazing or anything. So it sort of messed with me because I sort of forgot that this was an Alien movie until the end, and they did the Alien. I was like, oh fuck, that's right, this is an Alien movie.
I was because I am such a huge Alien fan, I was looking for every little Easter egg, everything. Like I said, I liked it, but I thought the alien thing was a little bit tacked on, but that definitely leaves it open for the next movie to have aliens in it, I would assume.
Well, yeah. Well, I would imagine that it has to. Since they, like you said, the Alien movies actually take place, like a decade after this movie? Is that what you said in the beginning?
The Alien movies take place longer than that, like a long time.
Okay.
Like maybe even 50 years, 100 years later, I think.
Yeah.
Might have to fact check that.
Fact check it. Well, there's one more thing, which is, I just realized now that it really sounds like I didn't like this movie at all because I keep picking on about things. But one, Idris Elba and the other two pilots wreck the Prometheus into the alien ship, and it falls back down to the planet. Number one, no explosion when it hit. It just dropped like a frisbee and rolled around and fell down. But when Charlize Theron and Noomi Rapace are running from it, when something's rolling like that, run to the fucking side.
Serpentine.
Why do you just keep running straight ahead? It's rolling. Run off to the side. You would have been fine.
Yeah, I thought that too, actually, when it was happening. Like, why are you just running in the path of the giant? And it wasn't like rolling fast. It was rolling slow.
Yes. Which that's what me and Ryan were sort of talking about after the movie, is like, why did it just sort of fall to the ground like a frisbee and not like break apart or explode or anything?
Well, it exploded. There was some explosions in the air, but
yeah.
I mean, who knows? It's alien technology, dude. It's alien technology. True. You don't know.
True. And the other thing,
atmosphere is different on that planet too. So
yeah, well, which is another thing that there's so much that I could pick about.
Well, that was one thing that I was kind of hoping that they would touch on, and they really didn't. When they got to the planet and they said that there were life-sustaining levels of, gases, but they were like, oh, you can only be outside of your helmet for 2 minutes. And I was thinking like, oh man, there's going to be a situation where somebody's helmet breaks or comes off or something, and they're going to have to like rush inside. But that didn't really happen.
Yeah.
Like her oxygen was running out at the end there. But, yeah. Another thing, this is another nitpick, but I feel like I think that this movie didn't have anything as far as the broad strokes that were wrong with it, but I did have a lot of nitpicks, and I think that is what lowered my score. It's just a lot of small things. Nothing big.
Yeah. No, to me it just seemed, I almost want to say lazy writing.
Well, okay.
Where they're just sort of like, it's not that big of a deal, we'll just let it go.
One thing, when Guy Pearce's character dies, okay, they show him laying there, he dies. David is right beside him, laying there. Then, like 5 minutes later, when Noomi Rapace starts talking to him, Guy Pearce is gone.
Oh, maybe that's foreshadowing.
I don't think so. I think it's a continuity error.
But I also felt as though David wouldn't work after that.
Well, if
I don't think he really would have worked.
In Alien 3, Bishop was in it at the very beginning, and he was just a head, and he worked. He was just part. So I think to a certain degree, he'd work a little bit. Then again, we got to think about the fact that
you're detaching all that stuff.
Well, this takes place so many years before the Alien movies. You would think that the android technology would be a lot better. So, yeah, probably wouldn't work. I don't think they should have ripped his head off. I think they maybe should have just did something where he'd at least have his torso attached, because you would think.
I do love the fact that he ripped his head off and then hit Guy Pearce in the face with it.
Yeah, and killed him. He hit him so hard that it destroyed his skull. That was disgusting. I think we can leave spoilers now, don't you?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. We are out of the spoiler section. One other thing I want to add, not a spoiler. The movie's rated R, but I didn't feel like I watched an R-rated movie.
No, which I was surprised to see that it was rated R.
I think, honestly, it was rated. I think it was a choice. I think that they wanted it to be rated R because they knew that if it was PG-13, people wouldn't like that. They'd be upset.
Yeah.
Because then they'd know that there's no violence and stuff. But honestly, there's one F-bomb, which still, I think that they filmed it as a PG-13 rating because there were articles that came out that said Ridley Scott wasn't sure if he wanted it to be R or not. So I think he filmed it as a PG-13 movie, and then when he submitted it, he was like, "Yep, we want the R rating."
No,
because they say fuck once, and then they say it again, but they do a stupid little edit thing that I hate when they do that in movies.
Where
it was static.
The signal breaks down, the static and everything.
But as far as blood and gore and stuff, not a lot. Not enough to make it R.
Not enough for Ryan.
No. I mean, that didn't bother me. It bothered me a little bit that I feel like they made it an R rating on purpose to fool people into thinking that it was going to be more scary and violent than it actually was. That bothers me, but the movie itself, as far as the violence, that was fine.
I think we should do another one with Ryan in on it, and I think that we should talk more about. It might be another spoiler one, but talk more about what our. Because when we got into the spoiler section, we did a lot of just nitpicking. We didn't really actually talk about the plot or any of the symbolism and stuff like that. So maybe we could discuss that with Ryan, because I'm interested. I talked to Ryan a little bit, and he just pretty much flat out said, he's like, I'm not smart enough to think that way. Just try and come up with things.
Well, it was a very, very deep movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah, because me and my wife were talking about like the Prometheus myth and how it tied in and this and that. And Ryan's just like, yeah, I can't think like that.
And when if you go to one of the sites that has all the tie-ins with the Alien series, and you include all those into this mythology, it expands it so much more and makes it so much more complicated.
Well, that's really why I wished I would have watched the other ones leading up to this, because I'm like, I'm trying to make sense of the movie and I'm going through it and I'm coming up with ideas and stuff, and then once I verbalize it or anything, I just think to myself, well, I don't remember the other movies, so I have no idea. I could be completely off base.
I think the only ones that really pertain are the first two, but there's also some tie-ins with the Alien versus Predator movie. Nothing plot-wise or story-wise, but just as far as the Whalen Corporation and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. I'm going to actually go back and watch the first Alien tonight. I was going to watch it last night, and then I got sidetracked, but I'm going to watch it tonight just to refresh myself. But I think that does it. I recommend it. I think you should go see it.
Oh, yeah, you have to see it.
As far as summer movies, thus far, I would say it's one of my favorites. But I haven't seen Moonrise Kingdom yet, so.
Well, you also haven't seen Madagascar 3,
That is true.
Beat it at the box office.
That is true.
I told you, it fucking swept Cannes.
Swept Cannes, made what, 55 million this weekend? Something like that.
Ridiculous.
It beat Prometheus.
Killed it. It's the real deal, Madagascar 3.
Well, speaking of Madagascar 3, let's go over our predictions from last week.
Oh, that's right.
Prometheus, you said 82. I said 83. Actual 74. It's a win for you. Madagascar 3. I said 78. You said 70. Actual 76%. These are Rotten Tomatoes scores. And then the other one that we did was Safety Not Guaranteed. You said 88. I said 85. Actual 91.
Ooh, wow. I can't wait to see that movie.
So let's go over what's coming out next weekend, or this weekend rather. We have Rock of Ages.
Oh my god, which I finally saw the trailer for that movie.
Ugh.
Fucking Christ almighty.
Our contributor Daniel's pretty excited to see that. So I was more than happy.
Contributor Daniel.
I was more than happy to turn that one over to him. What are you thinking?
20. 20?
Whoa. I'm thinking higher than that. Okay. Usually our scores are around the same. I think it's going to get a lot higher than that. I think it's going to be like 62.
Don't let me down. Don't let me down, human beings.
Then we have That's My Boy, Adam Sandler. I'm thinking that's going to be...
Sounds like a good weekend.
25. I'm going to say 25.
I'm going to say 18.
And we also have Extraterrestrial, the new film from the director of Time Crimes, coming out.
Yeah.
And Your Sister's Sister with Mark Duplass. Do you want to...
Yeah, let's give it a try for both of them.
What do you think, Extraterrestrial?
I think 73.
Good guess. I'm going to say 75, I'll say. Your Sister's Sister. This didn't look that great to me, but it seems like Mark Duplass, everything he touches seems to turn to gold, so let's say like 65.
I'm going to say 70.
Okay. And I believe that does it for another show.
Indeed.
For all the latest film news and reviews, head on over to filmpulse.net. We want to hear your feedback. Send us an email at podcast@filmpulse.net or call our voicemail line at 850-391-6075. Also, please take a minute to rate us on iTunes. We appreciate that very much. For filmpulse.net, my name is Adam.
And I'm Kevin.
And we will see you on Tuesday for DVD and Blu-ray releases.